सारे मुझे भूल जाने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे। नाम सारे मुझे भूल जाने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे। वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे। सच कहो दर्द ये तुमको कैसा लगा, सच कहो दर्द ये तुमको कैसा लगा। वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे। मोहब्बत हमें आजमाती रही,
ये मोहब्बत हमें आजमाती रही।
अब मोहब्बत को हम आजमाने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे। वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे।
रात भर हाय मुझको जगाने लगे, वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे।
वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे।
वक्त बेवक्त तुम याद आने लगे।
मैं तुझसे मिलके, कहा तमाशे पूछो ना दिल के।
इतने दिनों में आए हो वापस, मुरझा गए कितने फूल खिल के।
मेरा बुरा हाल रहा, खैर हुई,
हाय हाय
खैर हुई दिल ने कहा कि तूने मुझे याद किया है, तूने मेरा नाम लिया है, कि तूने मुझे याद किया है, तूने मेरा नाम लिया है।
हिच 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 की लगी, हिच की, हिच 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 की लगी, हिच की। आज सुबह जब मैं जगी,
आज सुबह जब मैं जगा, ओ तेरी कसम ऐसा लगा कि तूने मुझे याद किया है, तूने मेरा नाम लिया है।
कि तूने मेरा किया है, तूने मेरा नाम लिया है। उंगली में अंगूठी, अंगूठी में नगीना, उंगली में अंगूठी, अंगूठी में नगीना। तेरे बिन, तेरे बिन एक भी दिन मुश्किल हो गया जीना, जीना, जीना। उंगली में अंगूठी, अंगूठी में नगीना, उंगली में अंगूठी, अंगूठी में नगीना।
जिगर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जान चुरा ली मैंने दिल दे दिया।
बाली उम्र ने मेरा
दर्द जिगर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जान चुरा ली मैंने दिल दे दिया।
बाली उम्र ने मेरा
निकला न बाहर में तो शीशे के घर से, डरता रहा मैं सारी दुनिया के डर से। निकला न बाहर में तो शीशे के घर से, डरता रहा मैं सारी दुनिया के डर से। दुनिया के डर ने मेरा हो रब्बा, दुनिया के डर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जान चुरा ली मैंने दिल दे दिया।
बाली उम्र ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जान चुरा ली मैंने दिल दे दिया। बाली उम्र ने मेरा
मैं था अकेला, कोई साथी अगर था, गम ये अकेलेपन का मेरा हम सफर था।
मैं थी अकेली, कोई साथी अगर था, गम ये अकेलेपन का मेरा हमसफर था। इस हमसफर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, इस हमसफर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जान चुरा ले मैंने दिल दे दिया। बाली उम्र ने मेरा हाल वो किया,
दर्द जिगर ने मेरा हाल वो किया, जाने चुरा ली मैंने दिल दे दिया।
कैसे छूटे दो सांसों की डोर बंधे तो बंधन ये ना टूटे। मैं जिस्म हूँ तू जिंदगी साथ ये कैसे छूटे।
हाँ
साथ तेरे मैं भी हूँ वहाँ। ओ साथी आजा, यार तेरा प्यार तो है मेरी जिंदगी, तू नहीं तो जिंदगी ये क्या है जिंदगी।
यार तेरा प्यार तो है मेरी जिंदगी, तू नहीं तो जिंदगी ये क्या है जिंदगी।
ओ साथी आजा,
It's that feeling when you're genuinely putting in the work, right? You're mindful of what you're eating. Maybe you're even clocking in those gym sessions. And yet the scale, well, it's not exactly cooperating.
Yeah.
It can leave you scratching your head. And trust me, a lot of people experience this.
Oh, it's a very common scenario.
Yeah.
Individuals often come to us feeling like they're hitting all the right notes, following conventional wisdom.
Right.
But the expected progress just isn't materializing. It's frustrating.
And that's precisely what we're digging into today. We've got a collection of really interesting information here that sheds light on some of the, well, sneaky, often underestimated reasons why weight loss can stall out.
Hidden roadblocks.
Exactly. Think of it as uncovering those hidden roadblocks you might not even be aware of.
Our aim for you today is quite direct, really, to help you explore whether any of these less obvious elements might be influencing your own journey with weight management. By examining these frequent stumbling blocks, we're hoping to offer some clarity and some practical takeaways.
Okay, let's really get into this.
Yeah.
One of the first things that really stood out in our materials is the idea of actually overeating healthy foods.
Right.
It almost sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Healthy should automatically translate to progress.
It's a fascinating point where perception can really diverge from reality. The healthy label can sometimes create a kind of halo effect, leading us to believe that we can consume these items more freely without impacting our overall calorie balance.
Absolutely. And the sources give some really relatable examples. Take snacking on almonds, for instance.
Good example.
You might think, oh, it's just a small handful of good fats and protein. But as we saw, those handfuls can very quickly add up, like really add up.
Yeah, the source mentions someone hitting 600 calories just from almonds without realizing. And what's particularly interesting here, and something our sources touch on, is the satiating effect.
You'd think they'd fill you up.
You'd expect them to help you feel fuller, right? Protein, fiber. But their high palatability, how good they taste, can sometimes override those signals.
So you just keep eating them.
Yeah, leading to kind of mindless overconsumption. It's a subtle but important mechanism.
Right. And it's not just about fats, is it? Even foods that are often considered staples of a healthy diet, like certain plant-based options, can contribute a significant number of calories if we're not mindful of portions. Things like chickpeas, sweet potatoes, quinoa.
They're packed with nutrients, absolutely, but they still have a caloric value. You can't just eat unlimited amounts.
And the example of trail mix is quite illustrative, isn't it?
Definitely. It's often marketed as this healthy on-the-go snack, but a single bag.
Wow. It can easily contain upwards of 800, maybe even 1,000 calories.
Right. Considering that, it's a substantial portion of most people's daily energy needs in just one snack.
So the key message here seems to be that even when we're choosing nutritious options, we still need to be really aware of portion sizes. Just because something is good for you doesn't give us a free pass to eat unlimited quantities and expect to see weight loss.
Precisely. And that naturally leads us to another critical factor, the accuracy, or maybe the inaccuracy, of how we track what we're actually consuming.
Oh, this is something I think a lot of us can relate to. It's surprisingly easy to underestimate the sheer volume of food and therefore calories we take in.
One of the sources highlighted Sarah's experience with peanut butter, which is just a perfect example of this.
Right, the 2 tablespoons versus 4.
Exactly. What someone perceives as a standard 2 tablespoon serving can often be closer to 4 tablespoons when you actually measure it, significantly increasing the calorie count.
And the statistic that came up in our research is quite striking. People frequently underreport their calorie intake by somewhere between 20 and 40%.
Yeah, 20 to 40. That's a huge margin for error.
It really is.
It really underscores the inherent difficulty in relying solely on our memory or, just eyeballing it when it comes to tracking food intake.
Our perceptions are just off sometimes.
Yeah, our perceptions of portion sizes and even the specific ingredients we've used can be quite inaccurate.
So what are some of the more reliable ways to get a handle on this? The sources suggest some really practical tools.
Indeed. Utilizing a food scale to actually weigh your portions, especially initially, that can be a game changer.
A bit tedious maybe, but accurate.
It can feel like it, but it gives you that precision.
Yeah.
And using food tracking applications like MyFitnessPal can introduce a level of precision that significantly reduces guesswork.
So you get a much clearer picture.
Yeah, of your actual calorie and macronutrient intake.
And for those who might find detailed logging a bit too time-consuming or just, not for them, there's another method mentioned.
Yes, the idea of a photo food journal. This can be a very effective alternative.
Just taking pictures.
Simply taking pictures of everything you eat. It can increase your awareness and accountability without the need for detailed calorie counting. It forces you to visually confront everything you're consuming.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. This next point is one that I suspect might challenge some common beliefs. The idea of over-relying on exercise as the primary strategy for weight loss.
Ah, yes.
We often hear the message that hitting the gym is the key to shedding pounds.
Well, exercise is undoubtedly crucial for overall health, fitness levels, mood regulation, and even metabolic function.
All good things.
All very good things. But it's important to have a realistic understanding of its role specifically in fat loss. The saying, "you can't outrun a bad diet," really encapsulates this.
The comparison made in one of our sources is quite eye-opening, isn't it?
It really is.
You might spend a good 45 minutes engaged in a fairly intense workout and burn, let's say, 300 calories.
Which feels like a lot of effort.
Right. But then it's remarkably easy to negate that entire effort with a single post-workout smoothie that contains, say, 500 calories.
Oof, gone. That highlights a key point about energy balance. Our dietary intake has a much more significant impact on our overall calorie balance than most people realize.
It's just easier to eat calories than burn them.
It's often far easier and quicker to consume calories than it is to expend them through physical activity, yeah.
So while we should absolutely continue to be active for all those health benefits,
Definitely.
the primary focus for achieving weight loss really needs to be on what we're eating. Nutrition first.
Exactly. In fact, the sources indicate that exercise is often more effective for maintaining weight loss in the long term once you've reached your goal.
Okay. For keeping it off.
Rather than being the sole driver of the initial loss. It plays a crucial role in keeping the weight off, for sure.
Got it. This next factor is something that I think many of us tend to push to the side, often viewing it as secondary. Getting sufficient sleep.
Oh, sleep. So underrated.
It frequently ends up at the bottom of the priority list, doesn't it?
And that's a significant oversight when it comes to weight management. Our sources really emphasize the profound impact that sleep deprivation has on our hunger-regulating hormones.
Ghrelin and leptin.
Specifically ghrelin and leptin. When you're not getting enough quality sleep, ghrelin, which signals hunger, tends to increase.
So you feel hungrier.
While leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, decreases.
So essentially, when we're sleep deprived, our bodies are telling us we're hungrier, and we feel less satisfied after eating.
Exactly. It's like a perfect storm for overconsumption.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
And the effects don't start there. Insufficient sleep can also diminish the effectiveness of your workouts.
Makes sense, you're tired.
Erode your willpower and generally make it more challenging to adhere to healthy eating patterns. Everything feels like more of an uphill battle when you're consistently tired.
The general recommendation we see across the board for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep?
7 to 9 hours.
It suddenly seems far more critical than just feeling rested.
Mm.
It's directly linked to our ability to manage our weight effectively.
Absolutely. Prioritizing sleep is, well, it's a foundational element of a healthy lifestyle that directly supports weight management efforts. Non-negotiable, really.
Now, let's delve into another area that can have a substantial impact, even though it might feel less tangible. Effectively managing stress.
Stress. This is a really critical factor that often gets overlooked in discussions about weight loss.
We think of diet and exercise, maybe sleep, but stress.
Right. But chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that, as our sources point out, can have several negative consequences for our bodies.
Including belly fat.
Yes, including promoting the accumulation of fat around the abdominal area, that stubborn belly fat.
So that persistent belly fat that many people struggle with might not solely be a result of dietary choices. It could also be significantly influenced by our stress levels,
That's often the case. Elevated cortisol levels can also interfere with other hormones that play a role in regulating our metabolism and appetite,
making everything harder.
further complicating weight loss efforts. Exactly.
It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected our mental and emotional well-being are with our physical health goals. Actively managing stress isn't just about feeling more at peace. It has a direct impact on our body's ability to lose weight.
Exactly. Incorporating stress-reducing activities into your daily routine, whether it's mindfulness practices, meditation, journaling, spending time outdoors, engaging in enjoyable hobbies.
Whatever works for you.
Whatever works. It isn't just a form of self-care. It's an integral component of a holistic approach to weight management.
Okay. This next point can be a tough pill to swallow for some, but it's crucial for setting realistic expectations, dealing with impatience, and having unrealistic timelines.
Oof, yes. The instant gratification trap.
In today's world, we're often accustomed to instant results, and weight loss rarely operates on that schedule, does it?
Not at all. That's a very valid observation. There's often a tendency to anticipate rapid progress, and when the number on the scale doesn't decrease as quickly as desired,
You get discouraged.
it can lead to significant discouragement. However, the reality is that fat loss is seldom a linear progression. It goes up and down.
The sources we've looked at highlight that our weight can fluctuate due to a multitude of reasons that have nothing to do with actual fat gain or loss.
Totally. Things like water retention, hormonal shifts, even the process of building a bit of muscle if you're strength training.
Which is a good thing.
Exactly. That's why placing too much emphasis solely on the scale can be misleading. It's really important to consider other indicators of progress.
Like how your clothes fit.
Yes. Taking progress photos, measuring your body circumference, paying attention to how your clothes are fitting. These can often reveal positive changes, even when the scale isn't showing a dramatic shift.
And it's a good reminder, I think, that significant weight gain typically occurs gradually over an extended period.
Right. It doesn't happen overnight.
So expecting to reverse that in a very short time frame is often unrealistic and can set us up for disappointment.
Absolutely. Sustainable weight loss is a gradual journey that necessitates consistency and, yes, patience. Lots of patience sometimes.
Now, this next one might seem counterintuitive to some. Skipping meals or drastically reducing calorie intake in an attempt to accelerate weight loss.
The eat less, move more taken to the extreme. This is a common pitfall, and it can actually have the opposite of the intended effect.
How so?
When you severely restrict your calorie intake, your body can enter a state of energy conservation, almost like a panning mode.
Okay.
This can lead to a slowdown in your metabolic rate in an effort to preserve energy.
So by trying to drastically cut back on calories, we might inadvertently be making it harder for our bodies to burn fat in the long run.
Precisely. Furthermore, such extreme calorie restriction can negatively impact your hormone balance, lead to decreased energy levels.
Makes it hard to exercise.
Exactly. And makes it significantly harder to maintain your exercise routine. There's also an increased risk of experiencing strong cravings and potentially overeating or binge eating after periods of intense restriction.
Right, that rebound effect.
It really underscores the importance of adequately fueling our bodies, not just for our physical activity, but also to support a healthy metabolism that facilitates sustainable fat loss.
So not eating too little is important too.
Exactly. Finding a moderate and sustainable calorie deficit is generally a much more effective and healthier approach than resorting to extreme measures.
Let's move on to a topic that often sneaks under the radar. The impact of liquid calories.
Oh, the sneaky liquid calorie.
It's surprisingly easy to consume a significant amount of calories through beverages without even fully registering it.
That's the deceptive nature of them. They often don't trigger the same satiety signals in our brains as solid foods do.
So you don't feel full from them.
Right, making it easier to overconsume them without feeling particularly full.
The sources provide some really common examples, like seemingly healthy smoothies,
Which can be packed with sugar.
those indulgent coffee shop lattes, wine, fruit juice. These can all be surprisingly calorie-dense.
The anecdote about an individual unknowingly consuming an extra 800 calories daily just from flavored coffee drinks, that perfectly illustrates this point.
Wow, 800 calories. That's like a whole meal.
Easily. These seemingly small indulgences can accumulate significantly over time and hinder weight loss progress.
So the guidance here seems clear. Prioritize water, black coffee, unsweetened tea as your primary beverages.
Boring stuff, basically.
Yeah, but effective.
Eh.
And be very mindful of those extra calories that can easily slip in through other drinks.
Absolutely. Occasional treats are perfectly fine, of course, but maintaining awareness of the calorie content in your beverages is crucial for effective weight management.
Okay, this next area is something I personally found really insightful. The importance of sufficient non-exercise activity, often referred to as NEAT.
Ah, neat. Yes, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I love talking about this.
I hadn't really given this much focused thought before, but it makes so much sense.
It encompasses all the energy we expend through physical activities other than purposeful exercise. So, everyday movements.
Like walking to the car, fidgeting.
Exactly. Walking, standing, fidgeting, doing household chores, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, all that stuff.
So it's essentially all the movement we engage in outside of our structured workouts.
Precisely. And what's quite remarkable, as highlighted in our sources, is that the cumulative calorie expenditure from all these seemingly small daily activities can actually exceed the calories burned during a dedicated workout for many individuals.
That's huge. More than a workout.
Potentially, yes. It really adds up over the course of a day.
That's a really significant point. We might be so focused on our scheduled gym sessions that we overlook all the other opportunities for movement throughout the day.
And our sources also touch on the tendency for some people to inadvertently decrease their daily movement after completing a workout.
Oh, interesting. Like, I worked out, now I can sit.
Kind of. Almost as if they've earned a prolonged period of rest. But that could actually be counteracting our overall calorie expenditure goals.
Right. Net less movement overall.
Precisely. Aiming for a general guideline like 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. That's a good target.
Just moving more in general.
Yeah, and consciously incorporating small increases in activity, like parking a bit further away or taking a short walk after meals, can make a substantial difference in the long run.
Okay, let's discuss our relationship with the bathroom scale. This next point addresses the potential pitfalls of being overly obsessed with that single number.
Ah, the scale. Such a loaded object for many people.
It really can be. While the scale can certainly be a useful tool for tracking trends in your weight over time,
It has its place.
it's really just one piece of a larger picture. Placing undue emphasis solely on the number displayed can be misleading and even demotivating.
One of our sources makes a great point that changes in your body composition, meaning losing fat and gaining muscle, might not always be reflected in significant changes on the scale.
Especially early on.
Exactly, especially in the initial stages of a weight loss journey or if you're incorporating strength training.
That's right. A pound of fat and a pound of muscle weigh the same, but muscle tissue is much denser.
Takes up less space.
Right. It occupies less physical space. So you could be making significant progress in terms of leanness and strength without seeing a dramatic drop in your overall weight.
Which is still fantastic progress.
Yeah, absolutely. This reinforces the importance of looking beyond just the scale and paying attention to other indicators of progress.
Like we mentioned before, how your clothes fit, progress photos that visually document changes, and your overall energy levels. How do you feel?
That's a big one.
Exactly. These can often provide a more accurate and encouraging representation of the positive changes you're making.
Now, this next point really resonates with the idea of long-term success. Relying on willpower as your primary strategy instead of establishing sustainable habits and systems.
Oh, willpower. It's so fickle, isn't it?
It really is. Willpower is a finite resource. Its availability can fluctuate based on factors like our mood, stress levels, overall fatigue.
How much sleep you got.
Exactly. Depending solely on willpower to make healthy choices consistently can often lead to burnout. It's exhausting.
Instead, the focus should be on designing our environment and implementing routines that make healthy choices the easier, more automatic options. Less thinking involved.
The path of least resistance.
Precisely. Think about a habit like brushing your teeth. It's not something you typically need to summon a lot of conscious motivation for. It's an ingrained part of your daily routine.
You just do it.
You just do it. The goal is to create similar automaticity around your eating and exercise habits.
Our sources suggest practical strategies like preparing meals in advance, meal prepping,
Huge one.
creating structured grocery lists, and scheduling your workouts as non-negotiable appointments to minimize the need for constant decision-making and effort.
Remove the friction. Making nutritious snacks readily accessible, keeping your gym bag packed and visible, setting reminders for key activities. These all contribute to building these sustainable systems.
Make the healthy choice the easy choice.
That's the goal.
This next point is so crucial in our visually driven world, especially with the prevalence of social media. comparing ourselves to often unrealistic standards.
Oh, social media. It can be such a double-edged sword.
It really can. Social media can be a source of inspiration for some, but it can also be a breeding ground for unrealistic comparisons that can be detrimental to our self-esteem and motivation.
Absolutely. It's vital to remember that what we encounter online is frequently a highly curated and often filtered version of reality. It's a highlight reel.
Right. Factors like professional lighting, digital filters, strategic posing, angles.
Well, and genetics. Let's not forget genetics. And even cosmetic procedures sometimes.
All play a significant role in how people appear online. And it's easy to forget these influences when we're comparing our everyday selves to these idealized images.
Furthermore, it's crucial to acknowledge that everyone's body is unique. Our individual metabolisms, hormonal profiles, lifestyles, they vary considerably.
Your journey isn't their journey.
Exactly. Comparing your personal journey to someone else's carefully selected highlights reel doesn't take into account all the individual factors at play and can be incredibly demotivating.
The key is to really focus on your own personal progress and celebrate your individual achievements rather than getting caught up in external and often misleading comparisons.
Precisely. Your path is unique to you. Run your own race.
Now let's address something that can easily derail even the most dedicated efforts. Inconsistencies on the weekends.
The weekend effect or the weekend blowout.
Yeah, it's a very real phenomenon. Many individuals adhere diligently to their healthy eating and exercise plans throughout the week. Monday to Friday, they're great.
They're dialed in, but then significantly deviate from those routines once the weekend arrives. Friday night hits, and it's game over.
And those weekend indulgences, if they are substantial and frequent, can really add up and potentially negate a lot of the hard work done during the week.
Our sources illustrate this quite clearly with that calculation example.
Right, the calorie math.
Consistently creating a 500-calorie daily deficit during the 5 weekdays might result in a cumulative deficit of 2,500 calories, which is great.
Solid progress.
But if you then consume an extra 1,500 calories on both Saturday and Sunday, that's a 3,000-calorie surplus.
Wiping out the whole week's deficit and then some.
Exactly. That entire weekly deficit is effectively wiped out, and you might even be in a slight surplus overall.
It's not about achieving perfect adherence every single day, is it?
No, not at all. It's about finding a sustainable balance and maintaining a degree of consistency, even on weekends, to ensure continued progress. Aim for, say, 80-20.
Right. Moderation over extremes.
Exactly. It's about striving for moderation rather than engaging in periods of extreme restriction, followed by significant overindulgence. That cycle isn't helpful.
This next point is incredibly important and delves beyond just the physical act of eating. The issue of unaddressed emotional eating.
Yeah, eating your feelings.
It's characterized by consuming food in response to feelings rather than genuine physical hunger, right?
Exactly. It often serves as a coping mechanism to comfort, soothe, or distract from uncomfortable or overwhelming emotions.
Our sources list several common emotional triggers. Stress, obviously, but also boredom, sadness.
Even happiness or celebration.
Right. Food can become a readily available and seemingly effective way to temporarily manage these feelings.
And while emotional eating might provide a fleeting sense of comfort in the moment,
it feels good right then.
It often leads to subsequent feelings of guilt, shame, and regret, potentially perpetuating a negative cycle.
So what's the first step? Awareness.
The initial step in addressing emotional eating is to cultivate greater self-awareness to recognize when you're eating due to emotional cues rather than actual physical hunger.
Tuning in.
Yeah. The sources suggest practices like journaling, maybe asking yourself, am I truly hungry or am I feeling something else? Paying close attention to your body's hunger signals.
And then finding other ways to cope.
And then it's crucial to develop alternative and healthier coping strategies for dealing with those underlying emotions. This could involve activities like going for a walk, calling a friend, engaging in a hobby.
Something non-food related.
Exactly. Or even seeking support from a therapist or counselor if it's a persistent issue.
This next point seems rather straightforward, but it's surprising how often it's overlooked. Setting vague or ultimately unachievable goals.
Yeah, if you don't know where you're going, how will you get there?
Right. Imprecise goals make it very difficult to develop a clear and actionable plan and to effectively track your progress along the way.
Just saying, I want to lose weight is a starting point, sure.
But it's not enough.
But it lacks the specificity needed for real and lasting success.
That's where the SMART goal framework becomes invaluable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Specific, Measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Exactly. So instead of that broad statement, I want to lose weight, our sources provide a great example of a SMART goal.
Like the 10 pounds one.
Yeah. I aim to lose 10 pounds within the next 12 weeks by incorporating a daily 10,000-step walking routine and by meal prepping on Sundays. See how clear that is?
Much clearer.
Yeah.
You know exactly what to do and how to measure it.
It provides clarity, direction, and a tangible target to work towards. Having that level of clarity is so important for maintaining motivation and sustaining momentum over time.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Now, this next point is one that I think particularly resonates with many women. The unwarranted fear of lifting weights due to the misconception of developing a bulky physique.
Oh, the I don't want to get bulky fear. It's still so prevalent.
It really is. And it's often rooted in misinformation, right?
Yeah.
The notion that women will easily develop large, overly muscular bodies simply by lifting weights is largely a myth.
One of the sources we examined shared a personal account of realizing the positive impact of incorporating weightlifting.
Yeah, feeling stronger, more toned.
Exactly. Noting improvements in muscle tone, overall strength, and a boost in confidence, not bulkiness.
Building significant muscle mass is actually really hard, isn't it?
It's a complex physiological process that requires specific training protocols, a consistent caloric surplus, and hormonal levels that differ considerably between men and women.
So it's not going to happen by accident for most women.
Not at all. For the vast majority of women, lifting weights leads to a more toned, sculpted, and functionally strong physique, which most people want.
And the benefits extend far beyond just aesthetics, right? Metabolism.
Oh, huge benefits. Weight training can significantly increase your resting metabolic rate, help to shape your body composition, and is crucial for preserving lean muscle tissue during periods of fat loss.
Which helps keep the weight off long term.
Exactly. Preserving muscle is vital for long-term weight management.
That's a really key point.
Yeah. While cardiovascular exercise is excellent for burning calories during the activity itself, muscle tissue is more metabolically active. It burns more calories even when you're at rest.
Like a metabolic furnace.
Kind of. It's a long-term investment in your metabolic health.
Let's transition to the concept of relying on quick fix diets instead of embracing sustainable lifestyle changes.
Ah, the diet roller coaster. Or diet hopping.
Yeah, constantly switching between various restrictive dietary approaches in the pursuit of rapid results. It's a common cycle, isn't it?
Very common, but unfortunately, it rarely leads to lasting success. You lose some, gain it back, try something else.
The core issue isn't necessarily with any single diet plan itself, maybe.
Some are better than others, of course.
But rather with the underlying mindset of seeking a temporary solution instead of cultivating enduring healthy habits.
Our sources rightly emphasize that the most effective diet is simply the one that an individual can consistently adhere to over the long term.
Whatever works for you.
Exactly. Sustainability is the fundamental key. Can you see yourself eating this way, moving this way 6 months from now, a year from now?
Now, here's a seemingly minor factor that can actually have a surprisingly significant impact. Insufficient hydration. Just not drinking enough water.
So basic, yet so important. Dehydration can often be misinterpreted by the body as hunger.
Thirst mistaken for hunger.
Exactly. Leading you to consume more calories when what your body truly needs is fluids. Plus, water plays a vital role in numerous bodily functions. Digestion, metabolic processes.
Everything runs better when hydrated.
Pretty much. The simple recommendation of drinking a glass of water before your meals that can actually help you feel fuller more quickly and potentially reduce your overall food intake.
Easy trick to try.
Absolutely. A general guideline often suggested is to aim for approximately half your body weight in ounces of water per day.
So if you weigh 150 pounds, about 75 ounces.
Roughly, yeah. And even more if you're physically active or live in a warmer climate, you need to adjust based on your needs.
This next point is a really important reminder to consider potential underlying health conditions or the effects of certain medications if you're experiencing persistent challenges.
Yes, this is crucial. If you're diligently making healthy lifestyle choices, eating well, moving, sleeping, managing stress, and still encountering significant difficulty in losing weight.
Something else might be going on.
Exactly. It's crucial to consult with your healthcare provider. Certain medical conditions like thyroid disorders, insulin resistance, PCOS.
Hormonal imbalances too?
Yes, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, other hormonal imbalances. These can significantly affect weight management.
And some medications can cause issues too.
Absolutely. It's also important to be aware that some medications can have weight gain or weight loss resistance as a side effect. Getting these factors properly evaluated and managed is essential.
Don't just struggle in silence.
Please don't. Seeking professional medical advice, which might include blood tests and maybe a consultation with a registered dietitian, can provide valuable insights and help you develop a more personalized and effective strategy.
Tailored to your specific situation. Let's talk about the crucial role of our support system. This next point highlights how a lack of a supportive environment can really hinder our progress.
Oh, definitely. Your environment matters hugely. Our social environment and the individuals we surround ourselves with can exert a significant influence on our weight management efforts.
For better or worse.
Right. If you're facing unsupportive behaviors or negative comments, maybe subtle sabotage, it can make an already challenging journey feel even more arduous.
Our sources provide examples like friends or family members who might consistently encourage unhealthy choices or make little digs.
Oh, just have one. Are you still on that diet? Things like that. Or inadvertently undermining your efforts.
So what can you do?
Actively setting boundaries with individuals who are not supportive. That's key. And consciously seeking out communities or support groups where you feel understood, encouraged, and share similar goals.
Find your tribe.
Exactly. Fitness and well-being have significant social and psychological dimensions. Having support makes a profound difference.
This next point is something that often gets overlooked, but is absolutely vital for long-term adherence. Not actually enjoying the process.
If it feels like torture, you won't stick with it, right?
Pretty much. If you consistently dread your workouts and find your healthy meals to be bland and unappetizing, it's going to be incredibly difficult to maintain your routine over the long haul.
Sustainability is intrinsically linked to enjoyment. You have to find some pleasure in it.
The advice here is to really explore different forms of physical activity until you discover something you genuinely enjoy.
Don't force yourself to run if you hate running. Try dancing, hiking, swimming, team sports.
Whatever clicks, exercise shouldn't feel like a form of punishment.
And the same principle applies to your eating habits. There are countless delicious and nutritious recipes available online in cookbooks.
Healthy food doesn't have to be boring.
Not at all. Finding healthy meals that you actually look forward to eating will make it much easier to stay on track. Explore spices, herbs, different cooking methods.
Because ultimately, finding enjoyment in the process is what fosters consistency.
Exactly. That's the secret sauce for the long term.
Finally, this last point really gets to the core of sustained motivation. Lacking a meaningful and compelling why behind your weight loss goals.
Ah, the why. Your deep down reason.
Intrinsic motivation is an incredibly powerful driver of long-term effort. If your reasons for wanting to lose weight are primarily superficial,
like fitting into a certain outfit for an event,
they may not be strong enough to sustain you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come up.
Our sources contrast wanting to simply look good in pictures with deeper, more personal motivations.
Like health.
Energy.
Right. Wanting to improve your overall health, have more energy to engage with your kids or grandkids, reduce medication reliance, or cultivate a greater sense of self-confidence and capability.
Those deeper reasons keep you going.
A strong and meaningful why provides resilience. It's the anchor you return to when your initial enthusiasm inevitably wanes, because it will. Motivation comes and goes. The suggestion to actually write down your personal motivations and revisit them regularly, that sounds really impactful.
It really is. Seeing it in black and white, reminding yourself why you started, it helps to keep your focus on what truly matters to you.
It grounds your efforts in something much more profound and enduring than just a number on the scale.
Absolutely. It gives the struggle meaning.
So, as we bring this deep dive to a close, it's clear that there are a multitude of interconnected factors beyond just the simple equation of calories in versus calories out.
Way beyond that.
That can significantly influence our weight loss journeys.
Absolutely. And these common oversights, these mistakes we've talked about, they're incredibly relatable. Most people make some of them.
Yeah, you're not alone if you recognize yourself here.
Exactly. And simply recognizing them is the crucial first step towards implementing positive and lasting changes. It's so important to remember that weight management is a deeply personal and unique journey for everyone.
The key takeaway seems to be prioritizing consistent progress over striving for an unattainable ideal of perfection.
Progress, not perfection. That's the mantra.
It's about making sustainable adjustments that seamlessly integrate into your individual lifestyle.
And above all, to extend kindness and compassion towards yourself throughout the process. Please be kind to yourself.
It's not always easy.
Not at all. There will inevitably be ups and downs, plateaus, moments of frustration, but focusing on making small, consistent steps in the right direction will ultimately lead you towards your goals.
So, for you listening right now, what's one key insight that particularly resonated with you from our discussion today?
Just pick one thing, maybe.
Perhaps it's identifying your own deeper why, or pinpointing one small, actionable step you can start implementing immediately based on what we've explored. We really encourage you to take a moment to reflect on that.